Cash grab Roblox games do not exist. I've made this claim many times on this channel. There are so many people out there who will love to stamp the cash grab label on any game that tries to make money and is simple. They say, if you make a game, like a simulator or a steal a game or a my singing game, and you put monetization in it, and it's not Skyrim, and it's not Jailbreak, and it's not complex, and highly detailed, and has perfect graphics with RTX on, it's a cash grab. And the reason for this, the reason I say cash grabs don't exist, is because it's just this label, right? It's their opinion. It's not a fact. They like to act like it's a fact. Oh, steal a brain rot is just a cash grab. Well, when you're saying that, what you're doing is you're just saying you don't like that game. But that doesn't mean that we can't learn something from it. Say you don't like steal a brain rot. You can still learn something from what they're doing, because you can't deny being at the top of the front page at all times is an accomplishment that we can learn from, that we can study. The problem with labeling games as cash grabs is that it blinds you to the lessons you can learn from those games. Every game has a lesson in it. Any game that's succeeding on Roblox can teach you something. So when hobbyists sit there and label everything as a cash grab, they don't just call these games names, they actively prevent themselves from ascending in their careers and from making better games themselves and making games that players actually want, that the market desires. I make the most controversial videos in the Roblox development space because I am unafraid to say Roblox is a business, and part of that is making games that some people might label a cash grab, but you know, they're just simple games that you made to make money and to build leverage to improve and build a career on this platform. Does that mean that all you do is make simulators? Does that mean that all you do is sit on hot potato after you make that first simple game that you want to release and get some players on it and earn some money? Does that mean that's all you do? No. But it means you don't start with trying to make the next Jailbreak. You don't start with the massive passion projects you want to make. The problem with the hobbyist mindset isn't that they follow passion. It's that it's all they do. Most hobbyists just follow passion blindly. Like, oh, all that matters is passion. And what does that make them do? It makes them have massive perfectionism. They're trying to make the next Jailbreak, the next Brookhaven, the next Royale High on day one. Devs are not ready to do this when they start. Devs need to start small. Devs need to lower their expectations. That is the message I am for, because this is the most important thing developers can learn, is strategy first thinking. Now, when you have made some simple games, when you've made some money, like I have from Jimmy Games, now you can take the funds and the experience and the network and the team that you gained from making those simple projects, and you can put it into making more complex games. But only after you've completed those first steps in your career. What is the point of strategy? It's to have a step-by-step plan to reach a certain outcome. And that outcome is players and Robux and a sustainable career on the Roblox platform. Now, you can't do that when it takes you 3 years to ship your first game. Like we see countless devs doing this, like RoBuilder, for example. He makes videos all the time about devs who make games for 3 years. They try to make the most complex game in the world. They think the effort and the dedication and the passion and the creativity and the massive open world map that they put into it automatically means they deserve success, that they deserve players, that they deserve Robux. But it doesn't. My videos are a wake-up call to all devs out there who are about to do this or who are doing this right now. You will most likely fail if you're trying to make your dream game first. If you're trying to make the most complex game in the world on day one, you will have a higher chance of success when you throw more darts at the board. If we're standing here and we're playing a game of darts, who has the higher chance of winning? Me, who throws 50 darts at the board, or you, who throws 1 or 2, and you perfectly time your shot? You might argue sitting there for 20 minutes straight trying to time the perfect shot, trying to aim your dart at the board perfectly is going to make you have a higher odds of hitting the board. But in reality, it doesn't, because you don't have as much preparation. Now, for me, when I'm shooting 50 darts at the board, yeah, I might be doing it faster. I might be doing it rapid fire. There might be less accuracy each time, especially in the start before I've leveled up my skill from all those iterations. But you better bet I'm going to hit that board. I'm going to hit that board bullseye or near bullseye with at least one of those darts. And that is because I'm throwing a huge quantity of darts at the board. There's a higher chance out of just law of probability that one of them ends up working, that one of them ends up hitting the board where I want, and I win and I beat you at darts. Now, this is the perfect metaphor for Roblox development because each time you make a game, you're throwing a dart at a board, right? There's no guarantees, even if you follow strategy first, that your game blows up. So, logically, the most natural solution to becoming a successful dev is throwing out as many games as you possibly can. And that way, you have higher odds that one of those games succeeds. And along that journey, you're going to learn skills. You're going to find team members. You're going to find devs who you can work with. You're going to gain insight on what Roblox players want, how the algorithm works from releasing all those projects, how to advertise. You only learn these things truly from experience. So the journey teaches you a lot as well. You don't even have a journey to learn from when you're sitting there for 2 years making your passion project. How do I know that? Because I've been in both positions, the hobbyist shoes and the strategy first shoes. And I'll tell you right now, strategy first shoes work out better 90% of the time. You might not make the perfect game. Yeah, the quality may not be as there as when you follow the hobbyist mindset, at least at the start when you first drop a game or when you're first making it. But I get results. Why? When I'm making simpler games like we made dozens of meme games and Jimmy games, I am making things that don't take very long to make. I'm making games I can get out in a day or a week, like Poopland. We made that game in one night, and it ended up getting millions and millions of visits, earned us millions and millions of Robux, and was one of our biggest successes, right? We didn't judge that the fact that it's a poop game, right? A lot of devs would say, oh, that's a stupid game. Maybe, but it got, what, 10, 15 million visits. Can't argue with results. So your game, Mr. Hobbyist, right? Even me years ago, we can use me as an example. Your hobbyist game takes years to make, right? Your passion project, me trying to make the next Brookhaven, except with a unique twist I wanted to add. It's an idea I'd like to finish at some point, but I was doing it too soon, and it took years. It took us 2 years of development to make this game, and we didn't end up finishing it. It was just too soon in our careers, and it was too complex from the start. We would have been better off following the strategy first mindset, making an MVP, a minimum viable product, dropping that, or making a smaller roleplay game, as opposed to trying to make the next Brookhaven. We spent all that time. Now, Mr. Hobbyist, you might have a game you're proud of, but it's not a game that the players are going to be proud of. It's not a game that players are going to be interested in most cases. Your passion doesn't equal the player's passion. This is what devs need to understand, right? Empathy is essential to developers. Empathy is what you are missing if your games aren't blowing up, in most cases. Because you need to be able to step out of your own developer shoes, your own perception, your own idea of what makes a good game, and step into the player's shoes. Realize players on Roblox, especially those on mobile, which makes up most of the user base on Roblox, they don't care about graphics. Not as much as you do as a dev. That's for certain. They don't care if it's a realistic forest. They don't care if it's a city that looks like New York and looks like the Brooklyn streets. They do not care. They care if the game is fun. That's why Grow a Garden has been at the top of the charts for so long. Because they tapped into that. They made a simple game with a fun core loop, and it tapped into player psychology, and it fulfilled their player desire. And look, successful game, boom. That game is proof of everything I'm saying. The perfect example. And what's crazy is devs will sit here and they will shame this. They will mock this. They'll say, oh, Grow a Garden sucks, right? All the players of Roblox, they're just idiots. They're just stupid. They just don't know what a good game is, right? Frontlines at the bottom of search, they should be playing Frontlines instead. Frontlines deserve players. No. You know why? You know why Frontlines doesn't deserve those players? Because Frontlines didn't tap into player desire the same way. They focused too much on the graphics. They didn't make a fun game. And that way, Grow a Garden beats them because Grow a Garden did do those things, right? It may have retro slop, as people like to call it, graphics. It may have studs. It may not have the perfect hand-drawn, perfectly designed rocks that you want to see in a game environment that look like real life and you can see each individual crack. But what it does have is a fun game where you jump in, you can grow a garden, you can grow it overnight, and players love that. They love the simple core loop. They love to harvest their crops, get better crops, repeat, repeat, repeat. They love that. They don't care about your complex idea that you want to succeed. They do not care. Some players will care about complex games, but still fun comes first. Even with older audiences on Roblox, they want a fun game. Fun comes above everything else in game design. So click this video here to learn about how the hobbyist hive mind has been lying to you about how Roblox development success works, and learn the truth about Roblox development that has been hidden from you this entire time. I'll see you there. Peace.